If you're a hyper independent girly, I cannot wait for you to experience meeting Mr. Make It Happen. Because if you're a hyper independent girly, like I saw this thing on Instagram that was like, when Miss Make It Happen meets Mr. Sit Down, that's my man.
Is it unfair to assume any woman with nails like this have a low IQ? Is that wrong of me?
Don't you ever write nobody off.
Hey, LaRonda. Now, I got 4 people on hold, but I can't talk.
That's my first thought when I see nails like this. This bitch is basic and dumb as hell. I've never met a woman with nails like these who surprised me intellectually when she opened up her mouth.
Never know what you might be missing till you get to know them.
There was never a situation like that. When they start talking, I'm like, wow, she's actually really intelligent. It's never happened. And I don't think it ever will. By the time a woman is on the internet calling herself a hyper-independent girly, something has went terribly wrong in her dating romantic life. Because women who have success between 18 and 23, they don't get on the internet talking like this. That independent word ain't even really in their vocabulary because they know how to work with a man and be dependent on a man. They have a man who they can depend on. And that's a win for every woman. Women who don't have good enough taste to pick a man like that usually talk like this.
But honestly, we had to ease into it when he first started courting me and stuff like that, because I've already become this super hyper independent person. And he proved to me just with doing things, not necessarily his words, but just with doing things, you can rely on me. And not that I've never had somebody to rely on, because I have my family, but I've chosen to just rely on me because I also understand that everybody has their life and nobody's going to look out for me the way I look out for me. But I love that I get to turn my brain off when I'm with my man. I love that I don't need to lift a finger, and not even just because I don't want to. He really doesn't want me to.
The masculine vibes, the manic facial expressions, and of course the nails and so on. And I just feel sorry for this guy. I don't think he really truly understands what he's signing up for.
You gonna learn today.
I'm curious, other than looks, what is inspiring this guy to want to take care of this woman and treat her like a traditional woman when she's clearly not?
That is the first question, believe it or not, that needs to be asked.
It just feels good to be with somebody who is the yin to your yang, studies you to learn what it is that's going to make you feel taken care of. Because it's not the same for everybody. But look at God.
You ever notice women like this, they never get on here and talk about all the things they do for a man? They only get on here and talk about all the things he does for her.
As a woman who is over-controlling, hyper-independent, doing the barest of the barest minimum has gotten me further, way further than doing the most.
I mean, yeah, especially if you're attractive, just sit down, shut up, suck some D from time to time and make a sandwich. And a guy will come through and take care of your whole life. It's always been that simple. I don't know why you bitches complicated things. It was those dang effiness.
It actually would have been a lot easier for me to just suck a dick and shut the fuck up.
As mothers, we should be raising our sons to be hyper independent, not mama's boys. Because 80%, if not 90% of the time, when we raise men to be mama's boys, when we raise our sons to be mama's boys, they end up being misogynistic instead of masculine. We end up raising men that demand a woman to submit to them instead of them being natural leaders where a woman naturally submits to them. Pretty much we end up raising toxic men.
Women can't teach boys how to be men. So are you a single mother, ma'am? Do you have a husband? Is your baby daddy around? Is he in the house? The problem is women are raising boys, period. After age 7, it's time for daddy to take over for the most part and do the parenting that's going to raise the boy into the man. Mama can't do that, period. I don't care how great of a woman she is. I don't care if she's superwoman. And seeing his dad on the weekends ain't going to cut it. So it ain't a matter of if you raise him to be a mama boy or not. If he ain't around his dad in the house all the time, then he going to be a mama's boy, regardless of how you think you raising him.
If they stop choosing you one day, I hope you remember that it doesn't mean you're unlovable or that you're not enough. I hope you don't blame yourself and overthink that it's a direct representation of who you are, because it's not.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop your fucking lying.
You got pumped and dumped, whored and ignored, popped and dropped, slopped and blocked, plucked then ducked, pressed and left, hit and quit, rammed in and abandoned, sprayed and delayed, throated and ghosted,
Well, it's a direct representation of the type of guys you pick. You may not be a terrible person, but usually women have a terrible taste in men. And they're chasing superficial things instead of the things that matter, like character. But yeah, when women get on social media and give advice to other women to help them get through their pain, it's always some BS that's going to make them avoid accountability and avoid taking responsibility for what they did wrong and how they picked wrong.
Like, it should be illegal for women to give other women advice. You should be able to call the police. Okay, we'll send 5 units out there just to be safe. Okay, cool.
So these motivational speeches with women crying on TikTok, trying to give advice to other women, it actually does the opposite. It doesn't help them get the result they're looking for. It keeps them on that same dumb hamster wheel.
Sometimes people leave our life not because of what we did or who we are, but because their part in our story is finished. And closed chapters never lead to happily ever afters.
Happily ever after is a myth. Happiness comes and goes throughout a lifetime. There's no such thing as finding this perfect guy that you live happily ever after with and have the white picket fence with hardly any problems. It's never gonna happen.
Grow the fuck up. You're not children anymore.
And actually, the fact that you're chasing that is the reason why you keep getting your heart broke. Stop chasing the guy that look like a prince and start chasing the guy that has the heart of gold.
Message!
A healthy person, you realize how damn toxic you can be. So annoying. I'm like, well, I'm the toxic one here. And then I'm like blaming my ex. Well, I blame him for giving me these toxic traits. Doesn't matter, sis. Doesn't matter. And they always say trauma is not your fault, but healing is your responsibility. And that's a word.
Did you know that 25% of women in the United States are getting treated for a mental illness? That means 75% of them are running around untreated.
Yeah, I'm just unpredictable, yet dangerous.
I would never want my son with a girl like her.
One of the things that I've learned, when you get a feeling from him that his vibe has shifted, totally shifted, might seem off, you guys might seem off, and you don't think logic into it. You're like, this is not logical. This is not logical. You're not thinking logically. You're thinking emotionally and just 1,000% off your gut. And you're like, well, Dana, your gut has never steered you wrong. Your gut is accurate.
That's a damn lie, and you know it! It's false.
But then you get to the tricky, icky, sticky part where you're like, is it my gut or is it a trauma response? And then you don't know what to do. Do I go to the left where nothing's right? Do I go to the right where nothing's left?
Like, wait, what?
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
No.
What the hell is this woman talking about? At the beginning I was following, but she lost me. Sounds like she finally got with a good guy and realized she's the one that's trash, and she's been trash for all these years. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure the guys she was dating were trash too, like attracts like.
I'm tired of sisters like you running our reputation in the ground because you pick poorly.
But yeah, guys, don't try to wife up these damaged women with fake lips and Botox and all that and post-wall. Don't deal with these women. I know you never got attention from women in the past. You feel like your day has finally come to be able to get a woman and maintain a woman. It's not worth it. She's going to ruin your life.
Tell you what, you pause. You pause and you let things come out to what they really are. Let them transpire. Let them just work on through. Because what we can do, us anxious attachment style little beautiful queens, is we are the queens, okay?
I'm a woman, superior gender. Men are supposed to worship the superior gender. I'm like, the creme de la creme of the female species. Bow down in the presence of royalty.
Women like this need to just be carted off to Mars. Put them in an oxygen bubble on Mars and just forget they exist.
Okay, let their yes be yeses and their no's be no's. Let's not assume too much. Let's not be stupid. Okay, let's not be stupid.
She would want to kick her own butt when she really looked at how silly she was acting, thinking that it was normal.
Look, women like this are going to sabotage a relationship with a good man every time. She's going to find a way to do it. After she's been ran through by the toxic guys for 10 years, she cannot connect with a righteous man and stay with a righteous man. It just won't happen. Because she knows she doesn't deserve him deep down inside. And she knows she can't maintain this act of being a good person for 30, 40 years. And she'll just sabotage it before you realize how terrible of a person she is. Sometimes I almost even feel sorry for these damaged women, but then I realize how many good guys they screwed over while they were, dealing with bad boys. But I do have sympathy for all the people's lives she's going to ruin from now until she passes on, including her own offspring, God forbid. Can you imagine this being your mother?
Hell no!
Please pray for all the offspring of all these OF models and damaged broads. They're going to need your prayers.
You get to say that about a woman. Why can't you say women are wrong when they're wrong?
You want to be making moves on the street, have no attachments, allow nothing to be in your life that you cannot walk out on it 30 seconds flat.
Okay, first of all, I didn't miss the red flags. I looked at them and thought, damn, that's sexy. And that's my problem.